But now that we got our image for the creation of the spectral profiles for the surface types, we need to prepare this image, so that we can produce this result here. So what we're going to do now is that we're going to sort of visualize this. So we've got this variable here, which is just one image. We want to visualize it. So to visualize, what you do, you have to map.add layer. So you're going to just map.add layer, and then the name of the new variable here, and then the curly bracket is always when you want to define stuff. So our minimum value is 0, and then our maximum value is 3000, and then the bands is, we selected R for red, which is B4. So B4 is red, B3 is green, and then B2 is blue. So that is what we go here. So I would like to use double quotes in this case. So B4, and then so that is the true red, and then B3, and then B2. Okay. So if you don't know how to visualize image in Earth Engine, please watch the previous videos, because we have covered this already. So that is why I'm going through this quickly, because it's already covered in previous videos. Be sure you watch those videos. So this is how we are going to visualize this. So we need to visualize. So when I click run, and then well, you don't know where your image is, right? So sometimes it's difficult. Okay, now it's popping up. Just give it some time. So this pops up here nicely. So this is the image. So this is Darwin. So you can see that Darwin is just a small fraction of the whole image, and large part of the image is covered by the ocean. So one of the things you may quickly do is that we may have to clip the image. We have to trim the image down to our steady area, which is Darwin here. So that is the next thing we're going to do. We're going to trim this big image to our steady area. Okay. So you can see that here, when you click in the console, the drop down, the expander, and you go here, you are going to see 26 bands, right? So some of the bands are for quality assessment, which we don't really need, and we're interested in the relevant bands. So we're going to select some of these bands, and those that are not relevant, we are going to leave them out. So we are sort of cleaning the data, and so we're going to create a new variable, and we're going to select bands and clip to steady area. Okay, we're going to trim the large image to the steady area, which is that way. So to do that, really we need to create a new variable. So I'm going to create a new variable, and I'm going to call this variable maybe I'll repeat send to as let me advise that the best way to learn scripting is typing into the editor. Don't copy and paste stuff, just type into it. Once you are typing into it, that is the best way you learn how to script. Okay, so this is my variable name, and I'm going to assign the previous variable we created, which is underscore mean, and then I'm going to select these bands. So I'm going to select blue, green, red, then red edge, near infrared, and shortwave infrared. So if you don't understand what I'm doing, the best thing is that, open a new browser here and type Sentinel-2 bands. Okay, once you type Sentinel-2 bands, you understand what is what. So blue is B2, green is B3, and so on and so forth. So that's what I was trying to say there. All right, so it helps you to know which of the bands. So if you want B11, what is B11? B11 is a short wave infrared one. Okay, so that is what we've selected. We selected the relevant bands, and then once you selected, so the first method was to select, and then the second method is to clip. So we're going to clip, and again, these are methods that our data type is what is an image. So these are methods that you can find under image when you go to EE image. So you're not going to find it under image collection. It's more likely that you see it under ee.image. So when you scroll down, you see the method select and then clip. Clip should be somewhere C, so that should be here. Where's that one? This one here. You clip. So when you are clipping an image, you have to include a geometry as the argument, and so that is what we're going to do here. And then you read the rest to really understand what we are doing. And then we also have got select, which you have covered in the previous video. So select is this one here. Again, we select bands, and so these are methods that they are all under image. So what we're going to do is that we selected the bands we need, and then we are streaming the image down to our study area by using our region of interest. So what is the name of the region of interest? Is what? ROI Darwin. So I'm just going to copy this, and then I'll find this and stick it here, because that is the argument for that. And you can always read the docs to really understand what we're doing here. So now we're going to trim this, and then once we trim this, you may have to run this again. Once you trim it, you may have to visualize it again to be sure that the selected bands have worked, and also the trimming method has worked. So we're going to run this again, and so I'm going to run the whole of this thing. So this is some of the challenge. Sometimes you say line 45, this is not defined, so it means that I've got the name typed wrong, so I need to correct that. So I'm going to line 45, and then okay, so what I need to copy this variable name here, and then I have to be sure that it is the same thing. So yeah, this one is not defined. So okay, so the problem is actually here. I didn't get the name right, so I have to be sure that I type in the name properly. So now let me run this again. So I'm going to see, you see, you're going to see the first layer. This is the first layer, which is the large image, and then we clip it. Once you clip it, now see, you have to be sure you turn off the first layer. Now we have clipped it to our steady area. So this is our steady area here. So the next thing we're going to do is that we are going to collect polygons for the different surface types we are analyzing. Okay, so once you have got your image, you may be curious to know the different surface types in the image. So this is where people live, the built up areas. You can see the built up areas coming up with streets and buildings and properties around. So this is obviously the built up areas, and then you also see the rivers, so the water bodies. You can see the water bodies also in the image. So some part of the water body sometimes get contaminated, like sort of clear water bodies. So you have to be sure you are selecting clear water bodies. And then you have other surface types, maybe parks or crop fields. It might be difficult to find, but we'll definitely try to find one. So this is you inspecting the different surface types in the image to be aware of what you have in the image and the areas that you can sample. So once you're happy and you understand the different types of surface types you got in the image, the next thing you are going to do is that we want to sample. So we want to, again, let's go back here. We want to create a sample for water, sample for urban areas or developed areas where people live, and then crop fields and riparian forests. Okay, that is what we're going to do here. So how to do that is pretty simple in Earth Engine. So what we need to do is that you have to come to the geometry tool here. So you go add a marker here, draw a line here, and then draw a shape and also a regular polygon if you want to use this one. So what we're going to do is that I'm going to select this one, draw a shape. So I'm going to draw a shape here, and then you see that the geometry import is activated. So what I'm going to do now my shape is activated. So I'm going to start with any water body. I'm going to select water. So I want to find water, clear water body, and to sample from that. So I have to flag that. You see, if you zoom out, your study area in terms of the size might be different to my one. So it depends on the data you are using. If you are not following or if you are not using the region of interest defined by these latitude and longitudes, and then obviously you may have something not same as my one. So but that's okay. It's just about you being able to do the prac for following through the prac using this data or your data. Okay, so what we're going to do is that we say, okay, this is a water body here, so I'm going to define a polygon for a water body here. So what I'm going to do now is to click here, 1, 2, 3, 4, then close it up. So this is water. So what I'll do is that now I'll click on this thing here, and then I'll edit this. I'll edit the properties. So here, instead of geometry, I'm going to select feature collection. Then I'll click on this one here, and then in the property I'm going to type label. So I'll call it label, and then this is what water. So I'll just type in water here, and I want water to be blue, so I don't want it to be red. So I'll just take this, click, hold, and then move it. Click, hold, and move. So I like blue, so I just want blue, and I want it to shades of blue, right? So I just want lighter blue. So I'm just going to say that this is the color. I'm happy with it. I'm happy with this one, and going to click OK. All right, so we got for water. The next one is to do for riparian forests, so or built up areas. So that's the next one to do. So I'll find a built up area that I'm interested. So there's a big one here, which is here. So I'm going to use this site. So I go and I click new layer. So just click new layer, and then I'm going to, what color do I want to give to this one? Like pink. So I'm going to that, and then I'm going to draw this polygon here, that 2, 3, and then here, and then I'll just click on the gear icon, then change it to feature collection properties. Then this is label, and then I'm going to call this one urban, and I want it to be pink. So I'm going to change this color here, and then maybe just move it here, and then you can just change it. Yeah, we might not be the same thing, but let's say something like that. You can choose anything at all, right? So just click OK, and then we know we got for built up areas, and we're going to do for crop fields. So that is going to be tricky. Let's see if we'll be lucky with finding fields to sample. So let me see where there is one field that we can use that let's see how it goes. So let's say well, I'm coming to use this field here. So let's say I select this field. So new layer, and then I'm going to take this, and then I'm going to select this as a field. Okay, so again, click on this gear icon, then change to feature and label this one as what's the name, field. Okay, so I'm just a crop field, so just a field. And then, well, you may want to change this to green, and then maybe change this one here, and then click that. So this is field for me. And the last one we want to do is riparian forest. So again, take the hand button, just zoom out, and now let's go and find a riparian forest. So that can be very tricky, but we'll just, find something to use. Okay. So this is just like mangrove there. So yeah, just in the interest of time, I'm just going to select this. Let's say this one, which I think is going to morph like a mangrove than any other thing. So just again, new layer, and then just you draw a polygon around here, and then you go there, and then change this to feature collection, property label, and then I'm going to call this riparian. Okay, just let's assume it's like riparian. Okay. And then what do? I just click, or maybe let's go back. The color is, this one here, like purple more or less. And that is going to be very tricky. So, yeah. I'm going to, let me keep it this way, okay? This color there. All right, so you got everything going okay. You selected all the nice things. So the next thing you are going to do is to merge all the feature collection. So you created for feature collection. So maybe you have to name this. Okay. Yeah, you have to rename this. So I mean, we can do it here, but let's go to each one here. And here is water, so I can type water here. Then okay, and then the second one is what is the second one? I think is urban, and then the third one is field, and then the other one is riparian. So just keep these names here, okay? Then so you see that once you edit it, it manifests in the script for you. So you got 4 different feature collection, and what we're going to do next is that we are going to merge all of these 4 into one feature collection. Okay, so we are merging 4 feature collections into one. Okay, so we're going to merge the feature collection. So merge feature collection. So how do you do that? So we're going to create a variable called feature collection. This is the name of the variable, and then we assign by merging. So we take water, and the method is to merge with urban, and then merge this with merge with urban, and then once we merge with urban, we merge with field, we merge with forest. Okay, so do I forest here? Okay, that is the name is we go forest. All right, so the riparian one is forest, right? So we change the name to I think this is also forest. So we are changing the name just to be sure that we are able to reproduce this. It's not called riparian, it's forest, right? So we just change the name to align with what we want to reproduce. So once you have that, and then now you've merged the four feature collection here, and that is all combined into one. So the next thing we're going to do is now to produce the spectral response curves. Okay,